What is something debunked as propaganda that is still widely believed? Catherine the Great dying from F a horse. Lie detector tests. They are easily rigged / straight up false most of the time, and were outlawed from being used in court as evidence back in the 70s IDKY when YouTubers or shitty reality TV shows use them. Many people treat their answers as factual. They aren't. Edit. Spelling. I loathe them. I also admittedly listen to too much true crime podcasting, and motherfucker does it get under my skin. When a polygraph is used to throw shade at someone, they should not exist. There is no favorable way to even answer the question, will you take a polygraph? You say no and it's oh, they have something to hide. But if you take it and fail it, well, it's obviously because you're the killer. It's inconclusive. Well, that's just as bad as failing, because you didn't pass. You passed the polygraph. Well, of course you did. You're a psychopath. And they always pass, because they don't get anxious telling lies. Or you pass it and that's when people say, well, those aren't even accurate. It's such bullshit. I'll never ever take one. And I never ever judge someone who also won't, either. Liebeck v. McDonald's restaurants. Also known as the McDonald's coffee case. In case you never heard of it, a woman sued McDonald's because the coffee was too hot and caused injury when she spilled some on herself by accident. McDonald's spent millions on smear campaigns trying to make her look like some sort of idiotic buffoon who filed a frivolous suit. Tons of corporate influence was applied in the media to villainize her. Ask most people, they think she lost and McDonald's won. Only that's not what happened. The coffee was between 180, 190 F, 88 C, far higher than safe temperature and far higher than competition. She suffered major third-degree burns resulting in an 8-day stay in the hospital and skin grafts. A jury awarded her $200,000 in medical injuries and $2.7 million in punitive damages against McDonald's, later reduced by the trial judge. The parties settled without disclosure out of court during appeal. Basically, McDonald's was completely in the wrong and scolded this woman, and the court found them liable. But smear campaigns made her look like a moron and losing party. That Napoleon was short. It was part British propaganda, part unit confusion, French inches were longer, part him being surrounded by huge bodyguards. Edit. Also him being called Little Corporal might have had a part in it, but it was an affectionate nickname given by his soldiers, not a reference to his height. The food pyramid. Compare the widely available food pyramid and the one published by Harvard. That plastics are easily recyclable, and that MSG is bad for you. MSG Aka makes S good powder. The rampant tampering of Halloween candy. You mean I won't get free drugs in my candy? What the hell, man? Is it weird that I still believe that rumor we all spread in middle school that Marilyn Manson had 2 ribs removed so he could suck his own dick? How the hell did this rumor spread to my small town Polish playground in pre-internet times? It's not like they announced it on MTV. That cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. Science nerd Donald Unjair cracked the knuckles on his left hand only for 50 years. No arthritis. Suck it, Nana. F legendary dedication right there. Butter helps a burn. Yeah, it'll still taste burnt. Total waste of butter. You forgot to add some roasted garlic. Op asked about propaganda and everyone is dumping Snopes articles. I'd say the whole Iraq had a hand in 9/11 and also had weapons of mass destruction was recent large-scale propaganda that was debunked. If memory serves me right, something like 70% of people were convinced that Saddam Hussein and his regime had a direct hand in the 9/11 attacks. Post-war analysis and historians note that none of this was really true. Carrots improve eyesight. Well, this blew up. So to address the comments I keep getting, the myth is carrots improving eyesight. Mainly that eating enough gave RAF pilots night vision, not carrots being good for your eyes. Carrots contain multiple vitamins that are beneficial. But, bearing a deficiency, they won't help you see better. Yeah, but have you ever seen a blind rabbit? That diamonds are rare and expensive to obtain. I read an article about how the diamond conglomerates restrict the amount of diamonds available on the market in order to inflate prices. The reality is there are vast reserves of diamonds just sitting in warehouses waiting to be unloaded on the market when the prices are guaranteed to bring in a massive profit. What a bunch of bunk the diamond industry has sold us with the rarity lie. That drug dealers are putting drugs in trick or treat candy. I misread propaganda as horseshit. Sorry about that. Remember how they made it seem like drug dealers just gave out free samples? What a bust. I wouldn't call it propaganda. Unless parents invented the lie to get children to leave spiders alone. In which case, well played. But there is a common myth that daddy long leg spiders are incredibly venomous. But they can't bite humans because their fangs are too small. The reality is that they can bite people, but their bite isn't particularly dangerous at all. It's comparable to an ant bite. That the McDonald's hot coffee lady was an unreasonable asshole. Edit. I've now muted because holy yes. If you're the kind of person who can go read what actually happened and still decide to side with giant multinational corporation, which has also lied about a whole host of other things including the monopoly yes, and also feeding us pink slime over the little old lady that they melted, then you don't have the IQ or the empathy for me to want to interact with you. My god. I hope the next time each of you does something moderately dumb, like spilling your drink, you're met with excruciating, life-altering negative consequences, since you all wanna keep trying to blame her. That injury attorneys are bad. In reality, without injury attorneys, corporations would go around doing whatever they wanted with no incentive to make consumers safer because they would have no consequences. Insurance companies would have no reason to actually pay out claims. Personal injury is a necessary and noble profession that truly helps the little guy stand up to big pharma, the government, big insurance and big corporations. I hate how stereotypes about lawyers being sleazy and helping bad people get away with stuff is so ingrained in society. Even knowing the truth, my first thought about anything to do with lawyers is a negative one. I have to mentally stop and correct myself. That swimming within 30 minutes of eating will cause cramps. If anyone is curious, we do want people to stay out of the pool right after they eat, because a lot of people are doing way more exercise than they're used to. That's what causes the vomiting and I have to clean that s up. That eating fat makes you fat, or is bad for you. I swear the entire food industry is run by F-demons. Every single facet of it. Whether it's the literal scum of the earth running companies like Nestle, or just disingenuous health experts spouting lies. I'm at a point where I just trust physics. Burn more energy than you put into you if you wanna lose weight. Yes, I know it's more complicated than that, but I just don't trust anyone anymore claiming to know these things. Propaganda probably isn't the correct term, but the idea that sugar makes kids go crazy came from one study that has been disproved a few hundred times. The placebo effect though, that S is real. Yes, exactly. Sugar high has been debunked. It's impossible trying to convince parents of this. That vaccines causes autism. F. Andrew Wakefield. He should been jailed for his fraudulent study. Yup. Now we gotta listen to all the idiots that parade this nonsense and their kids are now at risk. Sorts comments by controversial. You swallow 8 spiders a year. You will go blind from sitting too close to the TV. It takes 7 years to digest gum. Alligators live in the sewers of New York City. Edit. I know these are urban legends, but I couldn't think of any actual propaganda that wasn't already mentioned. If you look through the other comments you can have a proper propaganda. They told us that alligators live in the sewers, so we don't think about trying to join the advanced civilization of mole people down there. That a majority of people imprisoned in the US are violent offenders. It doesn't even constitute 10%. You need a big diamond to propose. That diamonds are valuable. That's its girl's best friend. That P inspection days at school were mandatory and you get expelled if you didn't go. Ayo. Your carbon footprint. BP campaign to popularize the idea of your personal carbon footprint to get people's attention off the oil industry's contributions to climate change and focus on their own. These companies are destroying the world, but many are still too focused on what individuals should do compared to the larger issue. Edit. It's still important to not be defeatist and do what you can as an individual. But solving climate change is not as simple as using paper straws, as some companies would want you to believe. Greater systemic changes need to happen to affect climate change in a meaningful way. Stop wrapping products in blister pack and putting that in a box with styrofoam padding and putting that in another box with more padding. Not only is it bad for the environment, but you're increasing your shipping costs. The F litter boxes in school bathrooms. The what?